During Thanksgiving dinner, my husband's relatives distributed gifts to everyone except me. His mother grinned, "We simply overlooked you." My husband chuckled alongside them. I smirked back and replied, "That's fine, I didn't overlook you." Their smile disappeared as they unwrapped my gift and saw what it meant. During Thanksgiving dinner, as laughter filled the air and the aroma of roasted turkey wafted through the room, I sat at the table, heart racing. My husband's relatives exchanged gifts, their faces lighting up with joy, but when the moment came for me, they simply passed me by. His mother, with a smug grin, declared, "We simply overlooked you." My husband chuckled along with them, oblivious to the sting of her words. A wave of betrayal washed over me, igniting a fire I had kept buried for too long. I felt invisible, a mere shadow in a room full of light. But instead of shrinking back, I smirked and replied, "That's fine, I didn't overlook you." As their smiles faltered and they unwrapped my unexpected gift, I knew this moment would change everything. What they found inside would reveal the truth I had been holding back for far too long. I'm Sarah, a 32-year-old graphic designer who values kindness and connection above all else. My husband, Mark, is a gentle soul with a warm smile and a heart of gold. We met 5 years ago at a mutual friend's wedding, and our love blossomed quickly. Mark's easygoing nature drew me in, and I admired how he always put family first. However, as I became part of his world, I quickly realized that his family dynamics were far from perfect. Mark's mother, Linda, is a formidable presence. Charming yet controlling. She has a way of making her opinions known, often at the expense of others' feelings. Despite her overbearing nature, I tried to fit in, believing that love and patience would bridge the gap. I made an effort to bond with her, bringing homemade dishes to family gatherings and engaging in conversations, hoping to earn her approval. Yet each Thanksgiving felt like a test I was destined to fail. In previous years, I had brushed off the subtle jabs and dismissive comments, convincing myself that it was just her way. I recalled the last Thanksgiving when she critiqued my cooking in front of everyone, saying, "It's nice that you tried, dear, but we're used to better." I laughed it off, telling myself it was a joke, but deep down, the sting lingered. I wanted to be accepted, to feel like I belonged, but each gathering chipped away at my confidence. As the years passed, the pattern of exclusion became clearer. During one Thanksgiving, while everyone shared their gratitude, I felt invisible. Mark's relatives exchanged stories of their accomplishments, and when it was my turn, the conversation shifted abruptly, leaving me feeling like an outsider. I rationalized their behavior, thinking perhaps I was too sensitive, or that they simply didn't know me well enough. There were moments when I dismissed my feelings entirely. I recalled a time when Linda insisted on rearranging our living room without asking, claiming it would look better. I felt a mix of frustration and helplessness, but told myself it was just her trying to help. I wanted to believe that her intentions were good, even as I felt my boundaries being crossed. The red flags were there, but I ignored them. I thought, maybe I'm just not trying hard enough. I convinced myself that if I just smiled more, if I just laughed at their jokes, I would eventually be accepted. But with each passing Thanksgiving, the weight of their indifference grew heavier, and I began to question my place in this family. If you've ever felt overlooked or marginalized in your own family gatherings, you're not alone. Subscribe to Reddit Family Sagas for more stories that dive deep into the complexities of family dynamics and the emotional journeys we all face. Join our community and share your experiences. Together, we can navigate these challenging relationships. The moment gifts were distributed at this year's Thanksgiving was the tipping point. As laughter echoed around the table, I watched each family member unwrap their presents, their faces lighting up with joy. My heart sank as I realized I was once again left out. When Linda announced, "We simply overlooked you," I felt a rush of emotions, hurt, anger, and disbelief. The air grew thick with tension, and I could hear the rustle of wrapping paper as they continued, oblivious to my pain. The room felt suffocating, the festive decorations suddenly oppressive. I could see Mark chuckling along with his family, his laughter ringing hollow in my ears. I wanted to scream, to make them see me, but instead I felt a wave of resignation wash over me. I was tired of being the invisible woman in a family that should have embraced me. As I smirked and replied, "That's fine, I didn't overlook you," I felt a flicker of defiance ignite within me. The moment their smiles faltered and they unwrapped my unexpected gift, I knew I was ready to confront the truth. This was no longer just about a holiday, it was about reclaiming my voice and my place in this family. As I sat in the aftermath of the Thanksgiving dinner, my mind raced with reflections on the years of feeling overlooked. The sting of Linda's words echoed in my ears, and I couldn't shake the memories of past gatherings. I recalled the time she dismissed my efforts to connect, saying, "You're not really one of us, are you?" Each memory felt like a puzzle piece falling into place, revealing a pattern of exclusion that I had tried to ignore. In those moments, I realized I had been allowing their dismissive behavior to define my worth. I had convinced myself that if I just tried harder, I would earn their acceptance. But now, clarity washed over me like a wave. I deserved better than to be an afterthought in my husband's family. I deserved to be seen, valued, and respected. This was not just about a single Thanksgiving. It was about my entire journey within this family. I felt a newfound determination rising within me, a resolve to reclaim my voice and assert my place. That evening, I reached out to my best friend Mia, who had always been my sounding board. Over coffee, I finally voiced my frustrations. "I feel invisible around Mark's family," I confessed, my voice trembling. "Every holiday, it's like I don't even exist. I try so hard to fit in, but it never seems to matter." Mia listened intently, her eyes filled with understanding. "Sarah, you deserve to be treated with respect. It's not your fault they can't see your worth. You're not just a guest, you're part of the family too." Her words resonated deeply, contrasting sharply with the toxic dynamics I had been enduring. In that moment, I felt validated for the first time. Mia's support reminded me of the importance of healthy relationships, ones where my feelings mattered, where I could express myself without fear of judgment. I realized that I had allies who believed in me, and it was time to stand up for myself. Have you ever felt overlooked or dismissed by your family? It's a painful experience that many of us can relate to. If you faced similar challenges, share your story in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to Reddit Family Sagas for more stories that explore the complexities of family dynamics and the journeys we take to reclaim our voices. The tension at the dinner table was palpable as I prepared to confront my in-laws. The air was thick with unspoken words, and I could feel the weight of their gazes on me. Mark sat beside me, blissfully unaware of the storm brewing within. As the last of the gifts were unwrapped, I took a deep breath, my heart pounding in my chest. "Can we talk about what just happened?" I finally said, my voice steady but firm. The room fell silent, and all eyes turned to me. Linda's expression shifted from surprise to defensiveness. "What do you mean?" she asked, feigning innocence. "I mean the way you all treated me today. It felt like I didn't even exist," I replied, my voice rising slightly. "You laughed and joked, but when it came time for gifts, I was overlooked." Again. Mark shifted uncomfortably, glancing between me and his mother. "Come on, Sarah, it was just a mistake," he said, trying to defuse the situation. "A mistake?" I shot back, feeling the heat of frustration rise. This isn't the first time I've been sidelined. It's a pattern, and I'm tired of pretending it doesn't hurt. Linda interjected, her tone sharp. "After everything I've done for you, you should be grateful. You're making a big deal out of nothing." I felt the pressure mounting, but I stood my ground. "No, Linda, I'm not making a big deal. I'm finally speaking up for myself. I deserve to be treated with respect, just like everyone else at this table." The room was silent, the tension thick as I held my breath, waiting for their reactions. I could see the surprise on their faces, the realization that I was no longer the quiet, overlooked daughter-in-law. I was ready to fight for my place in this family. Later that evening, as Mark and I sat alone, I could see the conflict in his eyes. "I didn't realize how much this was affecting you," he admitted, his voice low. "I thought my mom was just being herself." I took a deep breath, ready to share what I had learned. "Mark, it's not just her. It's the way your family operates. They've always put me on the sidelines, and I can't keep pretending it doesn't hurt." He looked down, processing my words. "I guess I never saw it that way. My mom has always been controlling, but I thought it was just her way of showing love." Love shouldn't feel like exclusion, I replied gently. You deserve to stand up for me, just as I'm standing up for myself. In that moment, Mark's expression shifted. You're right. I need to confront her about this. It's not fair to you, and I don't want to lose you over this. As we talked, I could feel the weight of unspoken truths lifting. We began to uncover the deeper family dynamics that had shaped our lives, and for the first time, I felt hopeful. Together, we could navigate this complicated terrain and redefine our family's narrative. In the days following the confrontation, I felt a surge of determination. I knew I had to take control of my narrative within Mark's family. First, I scheduled a meeting with Mark to discuss our approach moving forward. We need to set clear boundaries, I told him. I can't keep feeling sidelined, and I need your support to make that clear to your family. Mark agreed, but I knew it wouldn't be easy. The obstacles loomed large. I worried about how Linda would react to our newfound assertiveness. Would she dismiss our concerns again? Would she manipulate Mark into siding with her? Despite these fears, I felt a growing confidence. I began to articulate my feelings more openly, not just to Mark but also to my friends and family. I started practicing self-affirmation, reminding myself that I deserved respect and love. Each time I voiced my needs, I felt a little stronger. I realized that taking control of my situation was not just about confronting Linda. It was about reclaiming my identity and agency within the family. The immediate fallout from our confrontation was palpable. Mark's family was taken aback by my boldness, and the atmosphere during our next gathering was tense. Linda's demeanor shifted. She oscillated between passive-aggressive comments and forced smiles. I could sense the discomfort in the room, but I stood firm, refusing to let their reactions dictate my feelings. As the weeks passed, the dynamics began to shift. Mark started to assert himself more, standing up for me when his mother made snide remarks. I noticed a change in him, a newfound respect for my feelings. However, the ongoing challenges were evident. Linda would occasionally attempt to undermine my confidence, but I learned to counter her remarks with grace and assertiveness. Navigating these interactions was still difficult, but I felt empowered. I was no longer the silent observer. I was an active participant in my own life. If you've ever faced similar challenges in your family dynamics, you're not alone. Like this video, if you can relate to the struggle of asserting your voice in a family that overlooks you. Your experiences matter, and sharing them can help others find their strength. Months later, I reflected on how far I had come. The holidays were no longer a source of anxiety. Instead, they became opportunities for connection. Mark and I had established a new rhythm in our relationship, one built on mutual respect and understanding. I had learned valuable lessons about self-worth and the importance of setting boundaries. My relationship with Mark's family was evolving too. While Linda still had her moments, I noticed a shift in her approach. She seemed more cautious, perhaps realizing that her old tactics wouldn't work anymore. Our family gatherings became more inclusive, and I felt a sense of belonging that had eluded me for so long. I had transformed from a passive participant into an empowered individual, and it felt liberating. If this story of reclaiming your voice resonated with you, please subscribe to Reddit Family Sagas for more journeys through complicated relationships. Share your own experiences in the comments. Your story might inspire someone else to find their courage and take control of their narrative. Together, we can build a community of support and understanding.